Hey, what's up guys, it's Dolphek here. Today, I'm going to be going through and explaining the current UUG Iceberg that I made. What is an iceberg, you may ask? Well, for starters, picture an iceberg. You start from the tip, or sky depending on your iceberg, and go deeper and deeper down into the depths. The farther down you go, the more unknown things you will find. To summarize, an iceberg shares uncommon info about a certain topic. That topic I'll be talking about is UUG. Please keep in mind that I won't be 100% sure on everything I'm explaining, so take some things I say with a grain of salt. Anyway, sit tight, relax, get some popcorn, and let's get started, shall we? The Truer Tailsdoll sword was a weapon that could have been obtained through redeeming code at 20 resets. This is no longer the case, and I go more into depth on this in my Q&A video, which will pop up on the screen now. Customs are a bit hard to explain, so bear with me. Customs are things, be it weapons, armors, souls, foods, and bosses that are usually obtained from winning giveaways in the official Discord. You have the choice of making them for yourself or having Zeebee, the owner, make them for you. You also have the choice of having it in the game or keeping it for yourself for other purposes. Another thing, most people choose a custom item restricted to themselves. However, occasionally customs will be available as a normal obtainable item. By choice, that is. The video you're seeing right now is an example of MJ using their custom, which is Arsenal of Bones. The event room is a place where you can take a look at old event archives. The only way to get there without glitching is teleporting to a previous event, but you can only teleport to the 100k and 250k event bosses. This means if you had never defeated these bosses, you would not be able to access the room. Without glitching, of course. The battle doors are non-functional and the shops do not contain anything. This is just a fun room to view past events. The Watch is the name of the final boss of the game that is required to reset. Not much is known about this boss and its origins. Many people ask where the boss is at their 20th reset because they're uncultured. It doesn't currently exist in the game. Then they'll be asking, then how do you get Tailsdoll? Like bruh, it was only obtainable for like 3 days, and during that time it only required 20 resets. I'm not gonna elaborate further. The Watcher is related to his eyes, which I'll explain next. His eyes are actually the eyes that belong to the Watcher. This has been confirmed by Zeebee themselves. They are actually in the game and can be accessed by clicking them behind the Ancient One in the Harder Foes area. There's actually a backrooms in UUG. You've probably been there already, you just don't know it by that name. The smiley face fight is probably no clipping out of reality into a part of level fun, which is a level in the backrooms. Inside it, you will find a partygoer. Partygoers are entities that most commonly reside in level fun in the backrooms. Upon killing this partygoer, you will be given a key, probably to no clip into a part of level fun. The level fun fight in the game is actually entirely based off of the level fun from the backrooms. You can actually fight the party host in the final wave of the fight, which the partygoers are basically linked to. The remake of UUG is commonly known as UAG, which stands for Untitled Adventure Game. Basically, Zeebee asked the community if they should make a remake of the game due to the amount of bugs with the UTMM Kit. The majority voted yes, and so development on the game began. The only item that is 100% confirmed to make it to the remake is Egg Hot Dog. Also, development on UUG will only stop after the game is released to the public. You can actually play the core system test as of now too. It is currently unknown when the game will be released. Yeah, my voice is basically changing every time I cover a new topic. These are the old boss locations that I know of. Hard Snens used to be located in the dummy zone by touching a red square before it was moved to harder foes. Second round incident replaced Hard Snens' old location before it was moved to Ugly Cult Hideout. Finally, the dummy tower used to be located behind the King Cheese Castle, but has since been moved to the dummy zone. Whoops, forgot about Bigger B. This used to be located on City Hall sign. MJ was a moderator for the game. They had two customs, which are Arsenal of Bones and Spancer Head. They even had their very own boss, weapon, and soul added into the game as mainline stuff. However, things changed after some drama between them and Zeebee. I won't go into depth on what the drama was exactly, but all I will say is that the drama was big enough to result in Zeebee replacing everything in the game that was related to MJ with Adrite stuff. The MJ boss was replaced with the Adrite dummy, the MJ soul was replaced with the Reflect soul, and the MJ's hat was replaced with the Adderite hat. MJ has since left the team and not much has been heard from them. The Spancer contest was a contest held in the official UUG Discord server. Participants had to create and design their own Spancer. The person who made the best Spancer would win a custom boss. Gohan ended up winning, and sorry if I butchered that, and their custom boss can be fought today as Evil Rancer. There was also a separate boss contest that took place after the Spancer contest. They were basically the same, the only difference was you had to create your own boss. It didn't have to be related to Spancer. Miles won this contest, and thus King Noob was added. They also received a buffed version of its drop. Spancer Dating Simulator is a supposed game that Zeebee joked about making if UUG hit 3 million visits. However, it is still unclear whether or not he's actually joking. My guess would be it's a cover-up for something much greater to come. The Madness Combat event was an event that was planned to originally take place in UUG. However, after some stuff with the remake and stuff, Zeebee decided it would take place in the remake. Not much has been heard about it since. Here are some screenshots taken from the Sneak Peeks channel. Limited game passes are exactly that. Most new players don't know these have existed. It's also pretty rare to find someone with one. The Dummy Gun and the World Over Heaven are the only items that come from a limited game pass at the moment. The Ugly Gift was basically the old version of the Requiem Stone. If you tried equipping it and holding it out, you wouldn't hold anything. This was because Zeebee hadn't thought up a drop for it yet. While he was searching for ideas, he came across a random piece of bread saying, "Ugly Gift should give us our own terror wall." Zeebee replied saying, "That's not a terrible idea actually." And so, the Requiem Stone was born. This was single-handedly one of the oldest bugs in the entire game's history. Basically, even if you bought the B-arm in the shop, it would be gone after you left the game. This was pretty annoying for hoarders/collectors, definitely not talking about myself. This bug was finally fixed on January 4th, 2022 at 6:44 AM Pacific Standard Time in the data loss fix update. Pause is an enemy that serves as a kill switch in the game. It can only be found in wave or dungeon type fights. Take level 1 for example. Killing all the enemies will kill Pause, thus ending the fight. You may be thinking, then can't we just skip everything and kill Pause with our weapons? Well, yes, you can, if your weapon is ugly infinite. Pause has 99 sextillion, 999 quintillion, 997 quadrillion, 781 trillion, 963 billion total hit points. Knowing this, it should be pretty self-explanatory on why you can't just perform a cheese. Yobobob originates from a video on YouTube titled Yobobob by Tetrazid. Yobobob is basically just
Baba Booey
reversed.
Your Baba
UUG stands for Titled UTMM Game. It's basically a dark creepypasta version of UUG created by Aaron X. Anime profile pic? Laugh at this user. Anyway, this game was basically sponsored by Zeebee, presumably because he liked the concept of it. There's quite a bit of people with mixed feelings about this game because of how grindy it was and still is. I say was because the game eventually got discontinued. There's actually a TUG 2, but virtually nothing is known about it because it is private and it also doesn't seem to be receiving updates. Since then, Aaron X has moved on to a new project called Monster Mania, which has been receiving updates, though not very frequent, to this day. Workspace Mythos Madness was apparently the old, if not the oldest name of the game. UUG was actually based off of a game called Workspace Mythos Game by Workspace Studios, which Zeebee was a part of. He was actually a developer for the game, but at some point, the studio disbanded. The game still looks like it's receiving updates, but it looks discontinued at the same time, so I can't say for sure. Also, if you haven't realized, Workspace Mythos Game is based off of Craft Wars by Knacker. The Golden Experience Requiem Return to Zero glitches were game-breaking bugs that once existed in the game for a while. It was patched due to it being heavily abused. Definitely not because it streamed a way to permanently stun bosses with it, yeah. Because of how much content there is in this topic, I will divide it into 4 groups. Crazed Farm, Return to 10 Million, Dodge Boss Cheese, and Perma Stun. The first game-breaking glitch allowed you to farm gold extremely quickly and easily. Basically, using Return to Zero on a cat base would bug it so that it would no longer spawn enemies, including bosses. This meant if you used it on the Craze one, for example, you could completely avoid fighting the boss. Because of its gold yield, this was one of the best gold farms in the entire game's history. The video that's playing right now is how fast you could have killed the cat base with a party. The second glitch isn't that game-breaking, but still worth mentioning. Using Jur's RTZ on a metal enemy would cause it to have 10 million normal HP. I don't know what the hell caused this. The third game-breaking glitch allowed you to cheese dodge bosses. What it would essentially do is it would remove the boss's ability to teleport. The dodge bar will be gone, but the boss would still have quote-unquote dodges. This glitch also set the boss's HP to 10 million, similar to RT10M. The fourth and final game-breaking glitch allowed you to permanently stun bosses. That's right, permanently stun bosses. The boss wouldn't be able to move or attack after this. However, it required the person with Jur to sacrifice themselves. This was most likely the final straw for Zeebee, which ultimately ended in him removing the special and replacing it with a revamped one. There's actually a lot of unreleased content in the game, but I'll only be talking about the big ones. First off, we have the zombie launcher, which is based off of the one from Craft Wars. I don't know if it'll ever be released, it's just one of those things that are just there. Second, we have Bib. Here's the leak. Bib is based off of a YouTube video by that guy Muffin titled Bib. Zeebee also posted a video from the same person titled Super Bib, which may hint at a more powerful version or phase 2. third, we have I-Man. This looks like a pretty cool upcoming boss. Here's an interesting one. The Halloween exploiter attacks were exploit attacks on the game during the Halloween update through the use of a backdoor. A backdoor is basically a script that leaves your game vulnerable to attacks. Some backdoors use Discord webhooks, which this one most likely used. Most remodels in Roblox have backdoors, which is how a backdoor got into UUG. Zeebee forgot to check one of the dead tree models for backdoors, and yes, he did use remodels, which is why this whole thing happened in the first place. HD admin also got removed from the game because it became insecure due to this. Norman was probably one of the leading people who took advantage of this backdoor. The exploiters were able to give out stats, be it gold, XP, weapons, etc. Heck, they could do literally anything they wanted with the game. The vulnerability was fixed, but the damage had been done. Many players in the community had cracked stats. Zeebee posted a poll on whether they should ban or wipe the data of people with these types of stats. The majority voted yes. I did hear about Zeebee banning people with cracked stats, but I'm not sure if they actually banned everyone with them because there still exists quite a few people with them today. Also, there were some other exploiting incidents during this era, but I'm not sure if these were caused by the backdoor. Upon closer observation, there was a huge spike in exploiter reports during this period. This exploit attack shook the community, and hopefully there won't be any more going forward. The UTMM Universe collaboration bosses were bosses that were linked to UUG. Beating the cultist Nova would award you with a badge which would give you items in UUG. If I'm not wrong, Nova, a developer of UUG, created UTMM Universe. If you didn't know, Nova primarily creates models for the game such as the stands. This collab took place during the 250k event, and there's not much footage of the UTMM Universe bosses out there. Not everyone knows what these bosses looked like, and they were indeed some pretty cool bosses. The null zone period was a period where boss fights are completely and utterly broken. I'm pretty sure every battle would take place in the null zone. If you don't know what the null zone is, let me educate you. If you get far enough away from the base play of a game in Roblox, things will start glitching out because the Roblox player is trying to figure out where you are. If you want to learn more about this, there's a wiki page for it. Alright, let's get back on topic. Because of this, some fights would be unplayable, some fights would send you into the void, and some fights became very cheesable, especially Hollowed Lord. Many players abused this bug to obtain the Hollowed Soul. Most bosses would even stop attacking because of the sheer glitchiness of the null zone. I don't know what's with the Halloween period, but lots of bad shit happened during this era. There existed a bug in UUG PvP where you could become insanely fast. The glitch abused stick speed boost whenever you swung it. The method of obtaining a permanent speed boost was to equip stick, slash with it, then quickly equip a different weapon. This would grant you a permanent speed boost, and there was no limit to how many times you could use it. The footage you're seeing right now shows me and many other people abusing it. The main Spancer contest was basically Spancer contest but made version. It took place shortly after the Spancer contest was created. MJ was, unsurprisingly, the host of this contest, and it was most likely made because of MJ's unconditional horniness for Spancer. The winners of this contest were to supposedly receive the Spancer head, which was one of MJ's customs. There were 5 winners to this contest, which I'll flash on the screen right now, but they still haven't received the item and most likely never will. Zeebee explicitly stated that he wouldn't give out the Spancer heads. My guesses as to why this is are: 1. The winners annoyed him too much, 2. He didn't want to because of the drama with MJ, and 3. MJ wasn't part of the community anymore and thus they won't be given out for that reason. Well, that's all. The old game icons were, well, old game icons. Here's a screenshot I got from Bagaluga. Here are some other icons, some of which may be fairly recent, but this is for preservation purposes. These were the teasers for the 3 million event. Before it was released, Zeebee would post 2 images that would reveal hidden secrets when brightened. The first one contained an image of Ultimate Ronald, while the second one contained an image of the Theater Man. I don't know what to call it. This is based off of Theater Man from Theater Unrest, which is a game based off of a creepypasta called The Theater. The Spancer Club was a Discord server that MJ hosted in the announcements channel in the official UUG Discord. According to Zeebee, it was deleted after like a day and didn't mean much. Admin items are admin items. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you enjoy the footage in awe. There's actually a test place for UUG, but only testers can join it, obviously. Myself along with a few others are testers for the game. To become a tester, you have to get accepted through tester application forms that appear in the Discord. When do they appear? Never. You were probably wondering how I was using admin items in the previous footage, so now you know. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to leak the admin panel, but I'm not showing any unreleased content, so I think it's pretty unlikely that Zeebee will appear at my doorstep. Sonic enemies doesn't actually refer to Sonic the Hedgehog. Instead, it actually refers to a pretty unknown game mechanic. This is most prevalent when you fight Treasure Knight, which doesn't exist anymore. Pay close attention. They were running very fast, then went to walking normally again. I believe if you're far enough from an enemy, they will start moving very quickly. I'm not so sure on what other enemies possess this trait, but I'm gonna guess it applies to any enemy that walks towards you. This is a joke theory created by me a while back stating that Tao is Amogus. There was actually an old rule where leaking shrines wasn't allowed. I cannot find any footage of it, but it used to say it in game on the board. These screenshots from the Discord are the only proof I have of its existence, and the rule has since been lifted. I don't think I should even have to explain it. Well, here's one of the first lobbies. This can be found in old UUG but with shields. This next one is the oldest lobby of UUG, which can be found in old UUG place. Any older and is just without the Hardsnad's teleport. This one's probably the most obscure thing here, and I had a hard time deciding where to put it. The Spancer code consisted of binary that could be found in A-Key's very old description that when deciphered would say Spancer, 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 Sancer, Sancer, Lancy, Spancer. When putting this code in the chat or the codes menu, it would teleport you to the Spancer shrine. I do not have any screenshots / footage of A-Key's old description, so here's a forged one that shows what it might have looked like. Since then, it has been reworked to just teleport you to the shrine by using the item. We all know the current Frogget soul. But what about the old Frogget Soul? Well, it's actually very boring. Unlike the current Frogget Soul, it did literally nothing. Yep, it didn't even produce an explosion. It was basically basic Mark II. Around the time the JoJo event, also known as the 500k event, was in progress, a Whitesnake teaser was posted. This stand, like many others, was created by Nova, one of the developers for the game. The thing is, however, there was no Whitesnake to be seen when the event released. This mystery was finally put to rest by Zeebee when someone asked about it in the first Ask Me Things event in the Discord. Apparently, there was supposed to be another part to the event but was eventually scrapped because of time and motivation constraints. Whitesnake was most likely going to be a part of this had it been released. It is still unknown whether or not Whitesnake will ever be seen in UUG. There was a time when Necromancer would cause immense lag that could potentially lead to a crash, even for the best of gaming PCs. During the first few minutes or hours when the 250k event released, fighting Necromancer would cause a fuck ton of lag. I'm not 100% sure what the cause was, but I'm gonna guess it had something to do with the zombies. There was actually another model of the Eternal, but it has since been scrapped. A vote was hosted by Zeebee on which version should be used. The one with some granite blocks was chosen, and the one without any granite blocks was forgotten about. Originally, the statues in the 2 million dungeon were supposed to be these really cool realistic looking ones. Unfortunately, they were replaced with headless dummy kings. The initial statues looked really awesome and looked much better than the dummies in my opinion, but that's for you to decide. And that covers the first part of the berg. I hope you enjoyed watching this video because I put a lot of time, effort, and passion into this. I'd appreciate it a lot if you could support me by liking the video and hitting that subscribe button. Progress on the second part will start hopefully soon, but knowing me, I'll probably delay it for a while. Well, that's all for this video. Bye and thanks for watching.